I'm going to jump right into our topic tonight. So Perk, can it help with weight loss? Let me get my little bag of Perk out here so you can see what I'm talking about. It's a coffee for brain and body, and Perk is a coffee. A lot of people think that Perk is a mushroom coffee or things like that, or just, roasted mushrooms. Perk actually is coffee. It is an organic coffee, an Arabica bean that we get from what's called the Coffee Zone in Colombia. We buy actually from a supplier that is in a certified organic zone. And they do this zone thing in Colombia so that there's no neighbors that are spraying pesticides or herbicides. It'd be like a 35-mile square zone because it's about 60 kilometers. Maybe it's a little larger than 35 miles. That's the zone of Colombia where we buy this coffee from. And it is certified organic, and we do test it for third-party testing for pesticides and whatnot. And there's a lot more to Perk than just the coffee. And I'm actually going to get into each one of those ingredients tonight and how they help support weight management. A lot of you guys are using Perk, and I want you to know that Perk, along with all of our other products, work in connection or simultaneously work together to support some of our other ingredients. So let's get started. I want to start by listing 3 ways that Perk can support a weight management program. And then I'm going to go into detail into each of those 3 ways. So headers tonight, we're going to first state that Perk helps boost metabolism. We all know that as we get older and our metabolism starts to slow down, or perhaps you suffer from things like hypothyroidism, low B12, low energy levels, things like that, and you start feeling fatigued. And if you've been one of those like Monster, Red Bull, caffeine addicts, things like that, you may have burned out your metabolism in your early 20s. We call that the adrenal burn. When you constantly are spiking your body with loads of caffeine and sugar, you get that adrenal burn. A lot of us, whether we do that or not, start to suffer some forms of adrenal burn as we get older, but boosting our metabolism is what allows our body to increase its caloric output. By doing that, if we don't have those carbohydrate calories in us, we actually start to metabolize fat. Boosting metabolism aids in fat metabolism. And that's step 1 in how Perk helps our weight management program. We'll go into more details in that. The second reason why Perk helps is it enhances our energy and performance. Isn't boosting metabolism the same as enhancing energy? No, it's not. They're not the same things. Metabolism has everything to do with those adrenal glands that I talked about. Energy, though, is a lot more than just your adrenal glands. Cellular energy starts from good nutrients. Taking in the right nutrients helps build cellular energy, which increases, again, your body's ability to cleanly metabolize your nutrients. Think of it as like an engine. If you were to put bad gasoline in your engine might run, but it's going to run poorly. You won't be able to reach your maximum speed. But if you use a high octane fuel or a highly nutritious food in this analogy, your body will run better and more efficiently. And Perk contains those adaptogenic ingredients that help with that. The third reason why Perk aids in weight management programs is because it curbs cravings and supports satiety. What that means is it helps you not feel hungry. And this again is because of the very specific herbal blend that we put into Perk. Along with the coffee, we have these amazing herbs. So let's talk about some of these herbs. When it comes to the first reason, boosting metabolism and boosting our body's ability to burn fat or metabolize fat, there's 3 specific ingredients in Perk that are important. And by the way, you can follow along if you have your bags. You can follow along on the ingredient section right here. First, I want to talk about lion's mane and chaga mushrooms. We have a couple of mushrooms in there that help regulate blood sugar levels. They help reduce inflammation. They support healthy gut health. All of these components are key for a good weight management program. Okay. If you're looking to control your weight gain and actually lose weight, you've got to find a way to balance your blood sugar levels. I mean, that's the main reason we developed and introduced our product balance. And balance specifically targets blood sugar levels. But lion's mane and chaga are also pretty efficient at helping our bodies maintain healthy blood glucose levels. There's another amazing herb in this blend called ashwagandha. Now, we use a particular ashwagandha extract that is high in concentrations of something called withandols. Withandols is the active phytochemical found within ashwagandha, and it's a powerful adaptogen. For those of you new to that term, adaptogens are foods, basically, or herbal ingredients. Herbs are just foods, okay? But foods that can find a need, typically it's a hormonal need in your body, and help adapt your body to that need. So in other words, if your testosterone levels are high, adaptogenic herbs can bring them down. If your estrogen levels are high or low, adaptogenic herbs can balance those. There are some adaptogenic herbs that deal specifically with the immune system, not just hormones. Ashwagandha is one of those that deals specifically with hormones, in particular, dopamine levels. When your dopamine levels and serotonin levels, by the way, ashwagandha affects that, when they are high, or I should say in balance, you feel happy. You have a good mood, a good sense of joy. That tends to curb your appetite as well. You've all heard of the term like depression eating, right? When your mood is low, a lot of people turn to food, especially sugary foods, because sugar also increases dopamine levels, similar to like cocaine. You get this big rush of dopamine when you eat a lot of sugar, and it temporarily makes people feel good. Well, wouldn't it be nice to feel good to get your dopamine rush without the sugar? And that's where ashwagandha can help. There is an amino acid, L-tyrosine, that is also in Perk, that helps support healthy neurons, right? Okay, is that a way to say this, I guess, without breaking the law here? By supporting our neural connections in our brain, we can also support the mechanisms of action that our brain communicates with other body parts, like our adrenal glands to produce more adrenaline for energy, like our immune system to help increase immunity, if necessary, increase T cell or B cell production. Sorry, it's really hard saying all this stuff in a legal way that doesn't violate FDA laws. One of the biggest ways that L-tyrosine helps us, so you guys, is we have a stress hormone in our body, and that stress hormone is called cortisol. When your cortisol levels are high, we call that kind of fight or flight mode. You develop this hormone in your body that automatically tells whatever nutrients you're eating to be stored as fat, because your body doesn't know when it's going to eat again. You're in stress level. It's just in our DNA. It's something from, 20 to 50,000 years ago when our ancestors were being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. They didn't know if they were going to eat again or be eaten. And so your body goes into this protective mode when your cortisol levels are high, when your stress levels are high, and it stores fat. Guess where? Your belly and your bum. If you were to go without food and have high cortisol levels, that's fine. But a lot of us have high cortisol levels all the time because of stress in our jobs, and then we go eat fast food at work or something like that. And so we're eating calories, but our body's just storing that as fat. And that's where you get that white fat, that bad fat that typically wraps around your belly or your bum. L-tyrosine actually helps reduce cortisol levels. So does ashwagandha, by the way. So both of these combined help us get out of this fight or flight mode, which is great for any weight management program. All right, let's go to the ingredients that are in here that help enhance energy and increase like cognitive performance. Now, I think we all know and can agree, for you coffee drinkers out there, you know that coffee like wakes you up in the morning. Some of you, I might even say, are addicted to coffee and can't wake up without your coffee. I'm not saying that's like exactly healthy, but you know that kick in the pants you get when you have your cup of joe in the morning. So of course, the main ingredient that helps support your alertness, your mental energy, and stamina is the coffee that we use. Coffee gives you a natural caffeine boost. One of the frequently asked questions we get on Perk is, well, just how much caffeine is in Perk? First and foremost, you need to understand that we don't add caffeine to Perk, okay? It's not like we say, well, here's some coffee and I'm going to add more caffeine to turn it into something 3 times more than a cappuccino or something like that. We don't. But there is caffeine that's naturally found in the coffee bean. And so one serving of our Perk contains about 50 to 55 milligrams of caffeine naturally. All right. So I hope that answers that frequently asked question. And so that 50 to 55 milligrams of caffeine kind of perks you up, which is why we called it Perk. But you need to understand that I have a whole bunch of other ingredients, including the ashwagandha and tyrosine and the mushrooms, which help your body regulate that adrenaline rush so you don't get the jitters that are associated with the normal cup of coffee, all right? So you get the boost of energy without the jitters in Perk. I want to talk about another ingredient called alpha GPC. Alpha GPC is a fat. It's a type of lipid that is brain food. Your brain loves alpha GPC. It uses it as a nutrient to feed your brain cells. It also uses it as food, I guess you could say long-term storage food, so it gives your body a long-lasting supply of energy. Alpha GPC is known to enhance mental focus. So not only are you getting the mental focus and cognitive enhancement from the coffee, but it's combined with alpha GPC. And by the way, the lion's mane mushroom, which is also famous for that. So there's a host of a combination of nutrients in there, which gives it that great kind of cognitive boost, I guess, is what I'm looking for. Now let's go to the third one. The third topic I mentioned was that it curbs cravings and supports satiety. In other words, it makes you feel not hungry. There's 2 specific herbs in here that I want to talk about. One is the reishi mushroom. Reishi mushroom has been well studied because it contains a particular set of phytochemicals, or polysaccharides, I should say, which is a type of phytochemical, known as beta-glucans. After my presentation, type that in on a search engine and type in benefits of beta-glucan. You guys, the studies are extensive. Over 5,000 peer-reviewed published clinical studies on beta-glucans from reishi mushroom. The particular reishi mushroom that we use is standardized to contain 25% beta-glucans, so we know it's in there. I'm not just talking about beta-glucans because we just threw in some reishi mushroom. We actually standardized it to contain a specific amount of beta-glucans. What beta-glucans do in this particular product is not only support your immune function, but they support your blood sugar levels because it is a natural polysaccharide, which is a healthy form of sugar that your body loves. And it stabilizes your insulin levels to give you that feeling that I'm not hungry. I don't need to eat because my blood sugar is balanced. It's when your blood sugars start dropping, you guys, that you get those cravings. And usually what your body craves is carbohydrates when your blood sugar level's low, because your body knows that's the quickest way to boost your blood sugar levels is to eat carbohydrates. So the reishi mushroom helps curb your cravings or for snacks and sugary foods and things like that. But there's another herb in there I want to talk about. I'm going to give you the Latin name and then I'll give you the name that maybe most of you know it by, but Centella asiatica or gotu kola. This is from what we call like the kola nut, where Coca-Cola gets its name from. So it's kind of a stimulating nut, but what it really does is it supports blood circulation. Kola nut, or the gotu kola, is a liver detoxifying herb. It helps cleanse the bloodstream of toxins, improving circulation. And if your circulation is improved, of course, you're going to have more oxygen delivery to your cells. You're going to have more energy to your cells. There are also studies showing that gotu kola supports healthy digestion. There's also studies showing that it reduces bloating, which, by the way, there's also studies when it comes to improving digestion, which show that it helps and acts like an anti-diarrhea medication. Isn't that kind of cool? I think it's cool because I know a lot of people that coffee kind of loosens up their bowels too much. So now you have an ingredient in Perk that'll kind of help curb that. It doesn't cause constipation at all. What it does is it just improves the digestion to where you don't get that spastic colon that you normally get. So there's a few other things I want to get into though tonight when we're talking about Perk coffee and a weight management program. And these are some of the questions that I get, and I'm just going to go through these questions and I'll answer them for you. So what ingredients in Perk coffee contribute to fat burning? Well, a lot of them, almost all of them do, but I'll just go ahead and list them for you. I mean, we already talked about lion's mane. We talked about chaga, ashwagandha, L-tyrosine, and alpha-GPC. Those are the main ingredients that will help contribute to fat burning. Does Perk coffee help control appetite and cravings? I think I already addressed that too in our training. Yes, the reishi mushroom, the ashwagandha, the gotu kola, those three kind of combined help balance and stabilize blood sugar levels, which can kind of curb those cravings you get. How does Perk coffee boost energy without causing jitters? Because of the adaptogens in there and the L-tyrosine, you get that cortisol reducing effect, so that stress reducing effect that kind of calms you so you don't get the wiry, jittery effect from caffeine that most people get. As a formulator, there's actually a couple ways to achieve that, by the way. I could use an ingredient like L-theanine, which is a calming ingredient. And I've done lots of formulas where I combine caffeine with L-theanine. Clarity contains caffeine and L-theanine, and I did that so that you could have the caffeine without the jitters. But in Perk, I achieved it by using ashwagandha and the L-tyrosine combined so you don't get the jitters. Can Perk coffee be used as a pre-workout drink? You bet. In fact, if you're like a shake person and you do your protein shake, guys, there's nothing better than like adding just the packet of Perk to your shake. It would give you a coffee flavored protein shake with all the benefits that are also in Perk. So I think it would be a great pre-workout drink because you're getting that natural caffeine from the coffee, and throw in like the fuel, which we'll have coming out here in the next couple of weeks, we hope. You can add that to the fuel and have a coffee flavored pre-workout drink. Or if you just wanted to do Perk all by itself as a pre-workout, I think you could. I know coffee acts as a diuretic for a lot of people, so just be sure that during your workout, you drink plenty of fluids. In fact, drink Lift. Take Lift during your workout if you're using Perk as your pre-workout, all right? Is Perk coffee suitable for intermittent fasting? That's a great question. And I would say yes, because Perk has little to no carbohydrate, fat, or protein content. So it is not technically a food that fills you up. Okay. It's like more like a beverage. There's zero added sugars. There's no artificial ingredients. There's no protein content, no fat content. So I think yes, it would be fine. It would not be considered breaking a fast. Now, if you're fasting for religious reasons, you would have to consult your pastor or your church leadership, I guess, as to what they consider to be fasting. If it's a health reason fast, absolutely Perk is fine. If it's a religious fast, I'm not going to answer that. You're going to have to go talk to your religious leaders. Can Perk coffee be consumed daily? Yes, you bet. Coffee, you guys, is the second most consumed beverage in the world. All right. Number 1 is tea. Number 2 is water, but water is not a beverage. And number 3 is coffee. So when you're talking about beverages that you have to make, coffee is the number 2 most consumed beverage in the world. I would rather have you take Perk coffee every day than your normal cup of joe, because we've got all these healthy ingredients in it, along with the pesticide-free, mold-free coffee. In fact, I was reading, I think it was an article where somebody had randomly tested like 70 different brands of coffee and 55 of them contained mold. That's just nuts. I mean, talk about like a trigger for allergies and other endocrine system disorders. You know, if you're a daily coffee drinker, you darn better well know if your coffee has mold in it or not. I tell people this all the time. Good health is what you do most of the time, not some of the time. So if you drink coffee once a month, who cares if it's got mold in it? It's not going to affect you if you do it once a month. But if you're a daily drinker of coffee, then your coffee better not contain mold. But according to this article, 55 of the 70 top brands did contain mold. Perk coffee, of course, is third-party tested for that. In fact, it's not just mold. We test for Salmonella, E. coli. We do what's called a TPC, or a total plate count, which is all type of anaerobic and aerobic bacteria. And we also do the pesticide testing on it as well. So yes, of course it can be consumed daily. And in my opinion, it's a healthier choice of coffee to consume daily. How should I drink Perk coffee for maximum weight management benefits? I think it really depends on your weight management program. Like if you're exercising with your weight management program, then I would say, yeah, do Perk kind of as your pre-workout, and then be sure to stay hydrated with Lift during your workout, and take balance strips as your kind of recovery. When the fuel comes out, do your fuel and balance after your workout, because your body will then be craving those proteins to help build that lean muscle mass. And the balance contains that amento pump, which also helps convert energy or proteins into lean muscle mass. That would be one way. I think you could also take it in the early afternoon when you start getting those kind of hunger pangs, or maybe you want a snack. If you're like me, sometimes you're at work and you don't have time to go do a proper lunch, and you might have some snacks in your drawer. Like I carry, I've got some almonds and I've got pistachios and things like that in my drawer. And I know that eating those every day is not good for me, which is why I was super excited about this. This helps curb the cravings, but I think also you could probably do a cup of Perk when you get those hunger cravings to curb your appetite. And by the way, you can drink Perk hot or cold. It does not, you can do iced coffee with it all the time. You don't have to drink it hot, okay? It mixes just fine in cold water or your favorite milk alternative. If you want to use almond milk or soy milk or oat milk or whatever, it actually makes it really creamy and smooth. Can Perk coffee replace my regular coffee? I think I already said that. Absolutely. Yes, it can. And I believe you should replace it with your regular coffee, especially when you look at the price points, you guys. If you're one of those Starbucks goers, or if you're one of those like gourmet coffee people and you're spending $6, $7, $8 a day on your morning cup, Perk is way more economical. Even if you look at your instant coffee prices, it's close to your instant coffee price, and yet it's way healthier. So I'd look at replacing, whether you're an instant coffee drinker or a gourmet coffee drinker. I think Perk is going to be the way to go for you. Who should avoid Perk coffee? Well, Perk does contain natural caffeine. So if you have caffeine sensitivities, I would stay away from it. I don't think Perk is healthy for children. I don't think it's wise to get children hooked on coffee. You know, when they hit 14 to 18, it's their own choice. By then, as a parent, you can't do much. But I don't think it's wise parenting to give children a cup of coffee in the morning. I don't think it's wise to give children caffeine at all. They don't need the energy unless there's some underlying issue like they're obese. So if they suffer from obesity, you know, if they've got underlying issues, fix those underlying issues. Don't give them coffee. I'm not saying you can't. I think Perk is perfectly safe for children. I just don't think it's wise to give to children. Anybody with a medical condition that needs to avoid caffeine, I wouldn't recommend Perk for them. Okay? And if you don't know if you have that condition or not, talk to your doctor. Last question. Oh, this one's, I think everybody watching this already knows this, but where can I purchase Perk coffee? Talk to the person that referred you to this video. LifeWise is a direct-to-consumer network marketing company. Therefore, you can only buy it from our authorized distributors, people who have joined our program and participate in our revenue share. So just know that when you buy your Perk coffee, there's a couple of things you should actually know where that money's going. Number one, that money goes to someone who helped market and advertise for it, somebody who talked to you about it. And they actually can make a living selling LifeWise products. And they do, so please buy it. And by the way, it's the only place you can buy it is from an authorized partner, or what other companies call a distributor. We call them partners because we have a revenue share program where we share in our company revenue with our partners. And they will most likely send you to a website link that you can buy Perk. And without that link, you won't be able to buy it because it's not found in stores. It's not found on Amazon. It's not found on eBay. It is only from an authorized partner of LifeWise. This is not a private label coffee. This is a customized formula. I know because I made the formula, okay, myself, and I don't sell it to anyone else. Those were the questions I had for tonight. If you have more questions, I think you all know where you can reach me. You can reach out to me on Facebook Messenger and one of our several WhatsApp chats. You can also join me again every single week here in the lab. Look, one unique thing about LifeWise, I want to state this. Rob said this last night in his training. I don't know anywhere else. No, I don't know any other company where every single week the owners of that company spend time with you. One night every single week, Rob is on a Facebook Live with you. Every single Tuesday, me, the Chief Science Officer of the company, is on a Facebook Live with you. Every single Wednesday, our Chief Caregiver is what I like to call him. He's Chris the Care Bear, is pouring his soul into you. Our Master Distributor and Vice President, Greg and Sylvia Edelman, are on every Thursday with you. And then one of our diamonds takes time out of building their business to be with you every Friday night. Name me one other company that does that, where you have direct access to the corporate officers of the company. I've never seen that, you guys. And I love that part about our culture. And I actually enjoy getting messages from you guys, as long as they're messages that I have not already answered in one of my trainings before. I still love it, but I might respond and say, hey, go to this video, watch this video, or something like that, right? But no, I love getting questions from you. I love hearing from you. I love hearing your stories. And I know Rob does too. So never, ever be afraid or worried that you're wasting our time. Okay? You're not. That's what we're here for. Now, yeah, when we get to be $1 billion company, I may have to hire an assistant to go through my 10,000 messages that I get. But I will tell you that I'll probably want to touch each and every single one of them. I just may answer and somebody else might type them for me, right? I know it's not a worldwide, globally duplicatable system, but we're going to keep doing it for as long as we can, as long as we physically can. So anyway, feel free to reach out anytime. So thank you for your time tonight. And you can show your appreciation for this time we spent tonight by sharing this video. Put it up on your Facebook, put it on your Instagram, cut little snippets of it that were meaningful to you and put that on TikTok if you wish. But share, share, share. Number one, it's the best way to grow your business. Number two, it can truly impact someone else's life when they actually are doing something healthy for their body. So thank you for your time again tonight and see you next week in the lab.